What's up, everybody? Thank you for checking out this episode of Chewin the Rag. Before we get started, just a couple of cool, quick announcements. First and foremost, at chewintherag.com, same place where you find all of our platform links, social media, email for contact, and the gaming channel. There's now a section for merch. So if you click the merch link, it'll bring you to our web store where we have hoodies, t-shirts, water bottles, mugs, stickers, magnets, literally anything you could think of, we probably have it there. So be sure to go to chewintherag.com to pick up a piece of merch and make sure to like, rate, share, and subscribe on any of those platform links that you listen to us. It helps myself out, and more than that, it helps these guys out that I bring in that I think have cool things to promote. The more eyes on me, the more eyes on them, and it kind of helps the whole community, which is what this is really all about. Second, W, W Energy, good clean energy. Drink it every morning. I wear their merch. I have their hat on right now as we speak. I'm using their mouse pad. I highly support W. It's kind of helped me get away from coffee a little bit. I drink my W between like 6:30, 7 a.m. and I'm good until late afternoon, whereas I was drinking multiple cups of coffee a day. So W.GG and use promo code Chewin at checkout to get yourself some good, clean energy. Again, that's W.GG, promo code Chewin, no G, Chewin, Chewin at checkout. And one last thing, I am doing one more comedy show. I said I wouldn't, but I'm doing one more. Caro, New York. It is September 24th, and it will be at the Old Factory Brewing Co. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, all proceeds go to benefit hospice. So one more show. This is it. Not doing another one. Old Factory Brewing Co. in Caro, New York, and that's a few months from now, September 24th. Thank you guys, and be sure to go into the description of this video if while we are rather talking about charity. Donate money to help the kids in all my videos, or Spotify, all the descriptions wherever you're listening. There's a GoFundMe link. Donate some money, help the kids. They also have an event early September, and I believe if you click the GoFundMe, it goes into that a little bit more. So come support those guys, support myself later that month to benefit hospice. And thank you guys again for checking out this episode. Holy shit. If people only knew how long it fucking took us
Behind the scenes footage. Where's that?
to this point. Oh, what's up, everybody? Thanks for checking back into Chewing the Rag. If you're new, welcome to Chewing the Rag. My guest today is actually, believe it or not, Mike. A lot of people have asked for you to be on here, so it's pretty exciting. My guest today is Mike Valente himself.
Hey, in all its glory.
So early on, I had Vinny Jager on, who you're good friends with. You know Vinny really well, and we talked about you a little bit. And after that, I got probably 5 to 10 messages like immediately saying like, "Get Mike on, get Mike on." Oh. And I was like, "Oh, really? All right, I'll do it."
So fun. Here I am. Yay. I get messages saying, "Don't ever have him on again."
Yeah, keep Mike off. Keep Mike off. But no, it's I'm excited. So the reason you came up, I'll kiss your ass for a little bit and then we'll have fun. The reason you came up is we were just talking about support and how you're one of the biggest, supportive type of guys out there through like all aspects. So I'll talk about me personally. I had a shitty band a couple of years ago, and we weren't any good, but you always constantly reached out, put us on. And then after that, I tried fighting for a little bit. We all know how that goes. But on my Facebook wall, in my memories, there's a post from you saying like, "Kick his ass today." I didn't, but you said that. And then right after that, and I still train a little bit, but I got into comedy and this and whatnot. And you had me, hosting the benefit and stuff like that. So you're always super supportive for anything I did. And then Vinny was like, yeah, he's one of the most supportive guys I know. So I was like, all right, well, how do I be supportive besides attending shows and whatnot? Have a conversation, promote what you do and what you got going on. So this should be a lot of fun. We got a bunch of questions and bullshit, and we've been here for an hour and just started, so things are going good over here. I'm just gonna get right into the questions.
Go.
So first, you've been in the scene for over 20 years, playing music since the 80s, and this is probably the most cliche question you can get asked. But how did that start? How did you get into the music scene?
Well, I have fact checkers, and fact checkers are saying that I've been in the scene longer than 20 years.
Oh, really?
Probably 35, 40 years maybe. And I started off going to see shows. I always played guitar, was never really that good. I'm still not good. Um, I had a band out of high school who Mario from Upstate Records was part of, and we played little gigs here and there, and we tried to get on shows. We tried to do this, that, the other thing, just like every other band does.
Yeah.
And we hit a point where it got hard to get shows, so I started throwing my own. And when that lineup fizzled out, we kept going. I kept going, kept getting other players in, and we would throw our own shows at church halls and VFWs and people's backyards and wherever. So I guess I started throwing shows probably in the late 80s just because nobody would book my stupid band. And then we actually started playing out, getting better, got better players, and we started going to the next level. And Ted Etal came onto the scene in 1992, I think it was 91 maybe. But my old band played the first Ted show.
Okay.
It was us, China White and Plaid. And after that show, Ted constantly called me. Hey, who should I book? Who should I book? Who's this band? Who's that band? And then we introduced him to Troy Core and Stigmata and Flat Broke and all that. And then he started calling Bob Riley. And, so essentially Bob Riley and I and, Ralph Renna and a handful of other people, got behind Ted and helped him, push him to do shows. So during the 90s, Ted was pretty much the go-to guy for the Albany scene. Not discounting all the other DIY shows and right. The Albany scene and the Troy scene itself, but Ted was the one that was out in the forefront, bringing the bigger bands to the forefold. And toward the end of the 90s, I was in a band called the Bruise Brothers, and Ted was still involved, but he started kind of going into the background a little bit, and it wasn't as, out there anymore. And I don't know if the scene was changing or whatnot, but the shows didn't seem to be as frequent, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
And then you come up to the 2000s. And 2003, I opened up a club in Troy called the Hudson Duster, and Ralph Renner and I booked the shows in that venue. So I gotta say, I've been doing it for forever, and you know what? Music has kept me out of trouble, kept me on the straight and narrow for a long ass time. So I got to pay my respect to my music roots, and I do whatever I can. I really truly love it. And so we did the Hudson Duster, and then after the Hudson Duster was Bogies. Then we did Trick Shots, we did Chrome, and then once I started doing Bogies, I guess you could say I was off and running on my own, and I wasn't really using anybody's help until probably the midway through Bogies. We got Dan Brotherhood involved. He started helping out. He was also doing his own shows over here. There was a lot of people doing their own stuff. I mean, I'm telling you, I wasn't the be all end all of shows, but I was the only one that wasn't afraid to book the big dollar shows. and I got my ass kicked. I got my ass handed to me tenfold.
Oh yeah.
Booking bands like Sepultura and all these bands, they just the money was just astronomical. How much money I lost, and Damn Brotherhood does the same thing, and we just got beat up real bad during the Bogies years. Trick Shots started seeing a little bit more of a consistent crowd. Still lost a little bit of money. Chrome still lost a little bit of money. I had no access to the bar. I had, it wasn't like the Duster. The Duster, we didn't lose any money because I did cheap shows and I had the bar to back it up.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
In there drinking, having a good time. It was fun. There's so many. I overpaid bands and undercharged the cover all the time. It was fun. But now I'm involved with Empire Live and Empire Underground. One of the booking partners there. I have a stake and claim in that club, and now it's I kind of retired without retiring, so I don't have to worry about wins or losses. Everything's on the bottom line for the club, and everything's for the club. So I noticed the past couple of years, it took probably about 6 months, but now we're back to being really consistent, and shows are starting to thrive again. So I've been doing this since probably 88, 89.
Jesus.
So I probably made about bucks.
It's always funny because you're just the face pretty much, not whether you want to say it or not. Like, you are the face that people think of when they think of the Albany music scene, which is great. But I remember seeing a comment one day. It's like, what is this scene gonna do when you're gone? You're like, hopefully somebody else just picks it up. Somebody's got to like.
I mean, it'll still go, and being part of Empire Underground and Empire Live, it's not going to go away if I go away.
Right.
And Ed's still involved. He's part of Empire Underground. You got Dave, Jen, you got Dan Brotherhood still doing shows. So, the one thing I noticed as the past like 5 years is bands aren't really picking up the ball and doing their own thing so much anymore. They're waiting for promoters to come in and set the things up. And I offer services to bands at the club. If you want to set your own show up, here's how you're going to make the money. Here's how you will make money. This is the overhead of the club. Rent the club out. Rent it out, take the rest. I've had bands walk out of there with a couple, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. Some bands, walk out with a couple, $200-$300.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
It depends on what you want. It's not rocket science. I mean, one piece of advice is do not rely on social media alone. Get out there, be part of the scene. Get out there and go to shows. Support your friends. Support other bands. You got to talk to people. It's the social interaction is actually being there, and handing somebody a flyer, it does way more than
a post. Yeah, especially now. I mean, Facebook, as somebody who promotes on fucking social media, your shit's really limited. You could have however many friends. I mean, the limit because you're always doing deletes, but you could have so many friends and 100 people see it. Like, you're not really promoting the way you think you are. And that's something, I mean, one of the big questions on here was actually when booking, say, a local band, somebody who's small, what is it that you look for from them? Not even just to get them on a bill or anything.
I look for the excitement, enthusiasm, the drive. I get so many bands hitting me up for shows, and I like to think I give everybody a shot. I've never told anybody no. What I have told people is, listen, I'm really busy. I want you to contact me once every 2-3 weeks. Keep doing it every 2-3 weeks, regardless. And I'm going to probably say, I don't have anything. I don't have anything. I don't have anything. Do not take that as me telling you to fuck off. That's me saying I'm busy. I got either nationals do not want openers on it. There's no room for you. There's nothing of your genre. I said, but if you keep on it and keep on it, one day I'm like, oh yeah, I got something for you. Boom, you're on it.
Yep.
And there's been a couple of bands that have hit that wave, and now see the whole thing is once I book you, then you're on a flyer, and I store all my flyers in my files. So when I'm looking for bands, I go to my files first. I don't go through my emails and my messages. Yeah, there's a bazillion of them. I'm not going to find your shit. I'm not going to. It's
No.
lost. That's why I say keep hitting me every couple, 2-3 weeks. Because one day I'll be like, oh, wait, what's that band that hit me up 2 weeks ago? I can't remember their name. And then, oh, here they are. Hey, yes, I got something for you.
Yeah.
Boom, put them on. And I do research the bands, and there are some bands that I put on shows that really aren't talented, like having a lot of quality to them, but I see potential, and all I care about is that they're hungry and they want to play. And you know what? If you nurture that, they're going to be good one day.
Yeah, exactly.
As that happened with me. My band was terrible in the beginning. Everybody's first couple bands have been terrible. It's but you know what? You need the practice, the rehearsal, the experience, and once you get that experience, then a couple 2-3 years go by and they're still together. They're going to be good. And like I said, I just want to see the enthusiasm. I want to see these kids coming to shows.
Yeah.
And when I book a new band, I tell them this is how I book things, and this is what I look for. I said, I want to see you at shows. You're going to have to buy tickets from these other bands that are selling tickets. Buy them. Come to their shows. Support it. Hand your flyers out. Hand your CDs out. Promote your band.
Yeah.
Do something. Get off the goddamn internet and come out to a show. And kids are starting to listen, and it's actually kind of awesome. So, I mean, like you said, Facebook, they're in control, and if they're not going to let you engage in what you want to engage in because they want you to pay for it. So if you're going to pay for it, you might as well make your flyers and give your CDs out to somebody in person. That way, they're going to listen to it or whatever. But
yeah, no, I mean, this just to backpack on that. This was probably like 2014, 2015 is when I first started playing shows. And our very first show, we had probably 3 written songs, and they were like a minute and a half long. And you booked us, and we freestyled for another like 4 minutes, and you still booked us after that. So it's like the fact that he's not bullshitting when it's, if I see something there, you're gonna still get the phone calls and whatnot, or rather the message, the email saying like, hey, I got something for you. And yeah, social media, it's not really, that was the one thing I made sure, even comedy, music, go see a show, go see a local comedian if you're doing comedy, go see a local band if you're doing music, because nobody's going to give a shit about what you're doing. There's a large band that I'm not going to name, and you see guys on the internet giving them shit like, they said they're an Albany band, then they moved out west and claim Albany. So it's like, I never even saw you at a fucking show. And you probably know what I'm talking about, but like I said, I'm not going to name names.
I still go to shows. I mean, and it's hard for me because there's so many shows that I'm actually working at the club. I mean, I actually do the door to my own shows.
Yeah.
Because I like seeing the kids. I like seeing my friends. I like people come through and like, oh my God, I can't believe you booked this band. And I'm like, yeah, it's fun. Let's have fun. Let's have a couple beers.
Yep.
And just chill. It's like that. That is my going out. And you know what? Like I said, I keep saying it. Music has saved my life. And you know what? If there's not music in the venue or in the place, I got no business being there. And but when I'm not doing shows and there's a day off and I see a show, I go to it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and people, I had a lot of bogeys questions. So instead of asking the bogeys questions, because they're fucking pointless, you have these guys say like, bring back bogeys, and it's like, Empire just had a 2-day fest with a pre-party, and like, did you go to that? It's like, it's not like music isn't happening.
Here's a situation with bogeys. I took over bogeys. I think it was 2008, maybe, but it lasted 8 years. And Tony Simeone and Ralph Simeone were the owners at the time, and they kind of passed it off to me because they were in that transition period. They were doing college stuff, but we needed a home for metal and hardcore again. So we started doing that, and then after the show was the after party for the college kids, and then the college kids started getting pushed out because they're just more trouble than they're worth.
Yep.
At the time. Not saying the college kids are more trouble than they're worth, but the crowd that they were catering to was it was trouble.
Right.
So Bogies relied on shows 100% to survive. So I took over the whole thing, and Bogies got to a point where it was thriving again, but then somebody didn't pay the taxes on the building, and then the building got taken by the bank. So we had to vacate. We had to get out of there. So Bogey's building is up for sale if anybody wants to overpay for it, but now they want way too much money for that property, and it's just to the ground. Right now we got the best of both worlds. Empire Live, which is the 1,000 cap room, and Empire Underground, which is 350 cap room. So now we have the underground marketing between me and Dan Brotherhood, and then you got the mainstream marketing between Ted and the club. And these shows that I'm doing in the underground that I thought would do 100 people are doing 200 people. So things are definitely looking up. So I mean, the days of bogeys are done. The Fuse Box still does shows, so you can reminisce about that QE2 era. Traj is doing a great job over there, and I'm pretty much under contract from Empire, but we still do shows at Fuse Box periodically, and as long as it makes sense and it's not a competition. But I mean, those the Fuse Box is still great. We've done Terror there, we've done Vomit Forth there, and sold out shows, and that place is so small.
It's so small.
I mean, the capacity I think is 150, and we don't do 150. We do whatever. But it's still fun. But I mean, bogeys, it's just not possible anymore, and I do miss it. I do miss the Hudson Duster. I miss Saratoga Winners. But at least we still have a piece of QE2 to go reminisce about. So, I mean, what else you need?
Exactly. And I mean, it's the same stuff similar. I mean, there's always people like me who just don't really go to shows as much, but the heads that you remember from bogeys, they're still going to, like, you still have your same group of people that you ran into all the time. Your shows like that. I don't know. I understand the feel of bogeys. I mean, I played my first show there, so I completely get it. But
I mean, bogeys was like the CBGBs of Albany.
It
was run down. It was beat up. It was used and abused, but had a great sound system, and we had some good times. But Empire Underground is it's great. It's all those things, except it's not beat up. It's not run down. It's maintained. It's clean. It's like it got air conditioning that actually works, and it's. I mean, well, how can you bitch about that?
Exactly. We so outside of the promoting stuff, we're gonna talk some brick by brick here, which is always a good time. So we got a couple questions regarding favorites and least favorites. Do you have any cities or states, or at this point in your career, you say countries that you'd rather avoid, or do you have a favorite? Do you have a least favorite or a favorite?
Well, I don't want to say least favorite. I mean, I think we were talking about this earlier. It's not that we don't like the cities, but some of the cities don't like us. In our beginning, we had a reputation of being violent. We would travel to out of town with carloads of kids from Troy, and that's just a powder keg ready to blow anywhere. And we've literally gotten in brawls and riots and everything. And I know Barry, Vermont don't like us. I know Rome, New York don't like us, or at least the one place that we played. And I'll just leave the details out of it. But I mean, we love playing everywhere. I mean, the whole thing about us touring now is we're older, and just hanging out with my bros in the band, and it's always a laugh. We don't fight. We don't bicker. It's like there's no attitudes. It's like we just show up. We have fun and we bring the party now. But I love the Netherlands. I love Canada. We haven't been to Canada since before COVID. New York City's always been great to us. Albany, I mean, of course, hometown.
Right.
The pinnacle of everywhere we play. West Coast. I mean, yeah, we've had welcome open arms for pretty much everywhere. And it's not so much the cities; it's probably the venues. I would say favorites and not favorites.
Yeah, right.
But, I'm not gonna talk shit on anybody, but there's definitely some that have treated us better than others.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's just kind of with anything. There's always going to be certain people that welcome you with arms a little bit more wide open than others. So that's all right. And then we got so Brick by Brick, I believe it was 5 albums recorded. I feel like it's more, but I think it's
more.
5. Yeah, 5 is what was.
So the way Brick by Brick is I have done everything in my power to abolish everything before Ray.
Okay.
None of it was on a major label. It was all limited pressings. So some of that stuff is pretty rare, I guess. And it has nothing to do with the players. It's just that we didn't start touring and actually getting noticed until Ray joined the band. And when Ray joined the band, we could actually tour. Our first tour was with Madball in Canada and it was phenomenal. And then, we've gone all over the world. The last bunch of guys that we had, they couldn't do that. And like I said, it's not a slight to them at all. I mean, we wrote some great stuff and we still play some of those songs. It's just, this is Brick by Brick now. I'm the only original member. So we got rid of the Troy Core moniker to all you, what do you call it? But, I'm the only one from Troy in the band. Everybody is pretty much a transplant from out of state. But like I said, I mean, this is the version that everybody notices now because we've actually toured. And it's a great feeling, and Ray and Jeff and Andy, it's just, I love playing with those guys. It's so much fun. It's easy. It's low key. It's fun. But with these guys, we did 4 albums we have a couple of 7-inches. We have material written for a new EP that we're going to go start recording in November. And Joey Z from Lake Vagony is going to produce it. That's going to be out early next year. So we got 4 albums with Ray as the vocalist. And like I said, those are on labels that it's easily attained. So, I mean, we did have a dispute with our first label and our second label, and we pretty much got all the rights to everything, and all that stuff's pretty much going to be out of print soon. But we're with Upstate Records now, and ain't broke, don't fix it. They treat us great. And Mario from Upstate Records, I got a 40-year history with the guy, so I know where you live, Mario. Get me off.
Do you have do you have a favorite of anything that you guys recorded? A favorite album? Anything that sticks out to you personally more than anything?
Oh, that's a loaded question.
Yeah, I know.
This World, My Enemy. I like a lot of tunes on that, and that sticks out because that was our first record with Ray. So there's a lot of excitement behind that. Then we followed that up with Thin the Herd. I was really excited with that because that was on a label that kind of brought us to the next level, and we did a lot of touring on that. Then we went with High Mentality, and High Mentality has a lot of standout tracks on there because there was a lot of special cases on that album, and we had like Tony from Municipal Waste did some guest vocals, Vincent from Acacia Strain did some vocals. A friend of mine, Jessica Pimentel, she sings in a band, but she was also known for being on Orange Is the New Black.
Okay.
She lended some of her blackish metal vocals on there. So we kind of raised the bar on that one. And then with Dismal Existence, yeah, fucking Chuck Billy from Testament on there. It's like I don't know how much.
Yeah.
So I don't have a favorite album because they're all landmarks to me. So I mean, yeah, I have favorite songs, and basically all the favorite songs that we play live. So there you go.
Yeah, exactly. You want to know his favorites? Go see him live.
There you go.
So I don't fucking people love knowing people's
Favorites and least favorites, I guess. Yeah. Which I mean, it's cool. We got do you have any specific shows? I'm guessing this is that you booked that stick out to you more than others. So do you have a favorite show that you've helped put on, that something that really sticks out to you, something you were proud of more than anything?
Back in 2010, good friends with Lars from Rancid, and he hit me up. He goes, "Hey, we need an Albany show. You want to do an Albany show?" I'm like, "Yeah, well, duh."
Yeah.
So that was definitely a show for me. That was like next level shit, and that was an Upstate Black and Blue production. You know, and we booked it at I think it was before it was Upstate Concert Hall. I think it was Northern Lights, and I think it sold out in like a week.
Yeah.
And Lars is like, he insisted that we play it. And I'm like, we don't fit. He goes, "Listen, we play with Machine Head. You're gonna play with us." Okay. So it was us, and then we put Murderers Row on there and The Chosen One. So it was all friends and family right there. And it was such a great lineup. It was so much fun, and yeah, that's probably like one of the ones that stands out.
Now, because everybody's fucking negative on this podcast, do you have a band that you booked and immediately said never again? You don't have to name names.
Never mind, you can name names.
Sepultura, I'll name your names. Fuck them. Sepultura. Derek Green was nice, but Andreas and Paulo. And their fucking tour manager was such an asshole. They played at Bogies.
Yep.
And they were fucking arrogant fucking dicks. And they showed up and they scoffed at the place. They're like, pfft. I'm like, oh, here we go. And I had a couple locals on there and to help with the draw because they weren't really pulling their weight. And it was a battle. The whole show was a battle. They complained about everything, literally everything, as soon as they walked in the door. And it got to it almost came to blows. It almost came to a fist fight. And a buddy of mine that was a friend of mine and a friend of the tour manager kind of stepped in and told the tour manager, like, "That's not the dude." And the guy kind of corrected himself, and we went on with the show. But in a nutshell, they were just mean sons of bitches. They were just assholes for no reason. And my favorite line to them that day is, I go, "You got a lot of complaints. However, you didn't sell the place out.
Yeah.
So shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and play." They were complaining that the stage was too small and the sound system wasn't good enough. Scale it back.
Right.
Bring it back to the roots. I don't get it. You know, it's like there's bands like Hatebreed out there that are huge and they bring it back. They'll figure it out. You know, it's not going to be. They're not assholes. It's like, but these guys are just dicks. And it's just, I would never, and not to mention, I lost like $6,000 on
a bunch of fucking money
because they were so astronomical. And again, I tried. I was like, you know, but funny thing was, like 6-7 months later, I booked Soulfly. So you got Max Cavalera. He walked in the place and he loved it. He's like, "This place is great."
Yes.
All right. Well, funny you should say that. I had Sepultura here, and they did not think that. So I'm on Team Max, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It's always fucking stupid. First of all, I mean, you've probably played worse places. If you're a band
Listen, we've
You
played
played-
some toilets out there.
Exactly. That's
Yo,
my
we show
point.
up and you're just like, can we even fit the drum set in the
Yeah.
place? Well, if not, we'll play outside, whatever. Make
You
it
just
work.
figure
it out. It's fucking stupid to
Figure it
go
out.
there.
We played stages the size of this coffee table, and
Right.
it's just, who cares?
Who gives a fuck?
It doesn't matter. then I'm gonna ask myself, did we sell the place out?
Yeah, I mean-
All right, we didn't. So shut the fuck up and play.
Listen, I mean, you're bitching about the size of the place, and you couldn't even hit capacity. So it's like, shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
Oh, fucking A. Some music awards questions.
Yeah.
This is what I'm excited for.
All right, yeah. So
Yeah.
I created the Extreme Music Awards show. And, well, actually, you know what? Go with your question because I
think-
that way I can.
Yeah. Yeah. So first, let's talk about what it is. And then, so what is the Extreme Music Awards show, and how did you guys come up with the idea of this?
All right. Well, first things first. So, Brick by Brick got nominated for local awards twice in 2024. And I was like, oh, it's so awesome. I was like flattered, I'm like, I'm going to go to the events, So the first event we went to, I mean, it was a great event. And, we got beat. And I'm not a sore loser. I'm definitely not a sore loser. I don't really give a shit. I don't need a trophy or what. I know who the fuck I am.
Right.
So whatever. But I was just like, okay, cool. The band that beat me, I'm like, oh, so we're sitting there. I look them up on Instagram, like, they got 124 followers. Well, that's funny, right? And you look up, they don't have any music. It's like scattered. I'm like, what the fuck? All right, that's kind of weird. So I eventually asked them, like, how did they're like, oh, it's based on voting. I said, okay. I'm like, how? Oh, so you can vote for yourself numerous times. Yeah, you can vote for yourself as many times. I'm like, oh, I didn't
Okay.
know that. I would have voted for
Yeah.
myself 9 million times. So that's how the band won, and that's fine. So then we were nominated for one of the Eddies, and again, flattered. It's big production. It looked really nice. It was cool. It's like, okay, and this is the second time that we were nominated. So I'm like, okay, cool. So we're there, and I'm excited, and I'm like, so I noticed that the category we were in was best hardcore punk. We're not hardcore punk. We're metal with a hardcore attitude. And I'm like, but okay, I get it. So we're in the hardcore punk. And Wrong Move was in there, but then they put us in with 3 other bands that did not belong in the genre. Weird. Why are we up against these bands? It's just total apples and oranges, So I'm like, whatever, it is what it is. And then the one band out of all of them, again, never heard of them. Like, oh, they won. Okay, cool. And I'm looking. I look through the Instagram. 300 followers. I'm like, all right, cool. However, whatever, But the funny thing is, it's like she goes. The person went up to accept her award.
Yeah.
They're making this big speech about hardcore and punk and how it's all about sharing and unity, and it's not about the money. And then my girlfriend looks at me. She goes, "She's wearing a $1,500 dress." I'm like, oh my god, whatever. So I'm sitting there. I was a little frustrated. I'm just like, okay. And the band that won was not punk or hardcore.
Yeah, right.
It was they were a garage band, and I was like, all right, whatever. I'm like, I'm not going to be a sore loser. So then you get all the rumblings, and everybody's going to say that it's fixed and it's this and it's that. And I'm like, I don't really care. I don't care how the process was, but my pet peeve is that the genre wasn't represented properly. That's what I was mad about. I was like, I don't care who wins. It doesn't matter to me. Like I said, I don't need a trophy. I don't need to justify who I am. But the genres are just so vague and skewed. So I'm thinking, I'm like, well, you know what? The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is the same way, and all the Grammys, and it's like there's nothing for metal, hardcore, and punk properly. So I'm like, you know what? Let's do an award show. I'm gonna do my own fucking award show. I'm like, just for shits and giggles, just because there's bands that have been in this scene in Albany alone, not to mention the bazillion bands out there. I mean, we have a few hundred bands just in Albany. And I'm like, you know what? We just metal, hardcore punk. Metal, you got black metal, death metal, goth, you got stoner, you got so many genres of metal. Hardcore, you got beatdown, you got
Everything.
punk. There's pop punk, there's this punk. All right, you know what? Just those three genres right there. We got to pay homage to the roots that I've been listening to over the years. So that's how it came about. And I gave a couple friends a call, Ralph Renna, Artie, Brendan from 518 Scene, and Fuzz. And I'm like, yo, let's do this. And we just came up with it. We're like, wow, it's such a good idea. So we started launching it. And I already started getting like attention to bring it nationally. I'm like, well, let's worry about. I don't even know how it's going to happen
right
now. Let me figure out the formula. So, here we are. So January 13th will be the first Extreme Music Awards, and one thing I didn't like about these other music award shows is there wasn't really anything to hold my interest. Like, okay, you got all this local. It's all great and all, but you know what? It's like I got celebrities that are going to be presenting.
Yeah, right.
You know, how would you like to get handed a trophy from the guitarist of Slayer?
Exactly.
You know, so just I'm going to put that out there. I'm not going to say anything else, but I got like some celebrity presenters and people that are going to be involved in this, and it's going to be fun. And like I said, it's all about fun. And no, Brick by Brick is not eligible for anything because it will be done fairly. So if you go to extrememusicawards.com, there's a ballot there. Nominate your band, your friend's band, your mom and dad's band. I don't care, whoever. Nominate the bands, and we have a panel of 11 people that will be sifting through everything come December 1st. It will be judged more than fairly. I can guarantee that. And if anybody wants to call it rigged, then they can come to me and I will show them. My books are always open for everything. Simple.
Yeah, I like it because I actually remember the Facebook post that was made, just talking about social media earlier, of you being at that place to just, you were happy to be there. And you said, we're going to just do our own fucking thing. Look out for it, 2024. And how fast you guys got the gears turning on that. I was like, he's not just talking shit.
No, if I got something in my head, I do it.
Yeah.
I put my mind to it. I do it. It's just, like I said, I'm protective of this stuff. And it's like I said, I'm getting older, and we got friends that are passing away that are within this genre. And I want to do something like this before more of my friends pass away and don't get to see it, I guess. It's kind of a weird way of thinking, but it's just like, like Henry and Sean McFerrin, I grew up with those guys. They were, they taught me how to play guitar. They showed me some of the ropes, and I'm just like, I wish they were here to see it. And
yeah,
it's just, that's just two people. It's just, there's so many other people that never got their due because, people don't know. The people that are judging or trying to do something with metal don't know anything about metal.
No, and when you were talking about the ballots and whatnot, I've already voted for a few, and like there's
and the best part about this, not to
no, go ahead.
You can only vote once.
Yep.
One per IP address.
Yep.
So this way you can't overstuff it. Anyway, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, the genres that are on there, you wouldn't even necessarily think that genre's in Albany. You know what I mean? So like,
there may not be.
Exactly.
I don't know. I personally have not booked a grindcore band
Yeah.
from Albany, but There's a genre for it.
The,
And you know what? It might dig out a band that's in their garage that hasn't played out yet.
Yep.
And you know what? If that puts them on my radar, and we listen to them, and they get nominated, and they're in the running, it's like, you don't get a trophy. No, who gives a shit? You're gonna play a fucking show.
Yeah, exactly. So like that's the thing that stuck out to me the most about it is when it dropped, and I saw the flyer with all the sponsors and whatnot, and then the website came with the ballot, and just all the genres that are there. That's what stuck out to me the most was, and the fact that you can only vote once, because fuck those people voting for themselves 1,000 times. Wake up and make it a part of their routine.
I mean, that's fine and
It's
dandy.
smart.
No, I mean, but if I knew it, then it would have been a competition
Yeah.
who could click that enter button more,
Right.
But
Yeah, it's not necessarily.
it doesn't matter. It's like this is I'm trying to make this as legit as possible, as honest and fair as possible. All the people that are judges are either not in bands or have no connection to any bands, and I just think they're fans. They're fans of the music. So, and the one thing is, once December hits and all the nominees are in, then we're going to announce who the judges are. It's not going to be secret. Everybody, yeah, nothing is. I don't keep any secrets, and especially when I do shows and I pay bands, and I do have bands sell tickets, but it's not a pay to play situation. It's here, you're not at the shows flyering and promoting the show, so here's your tickets. That's your new flyering.
Yep.
Sell the tickets. You get a percentage of that money, and then you get a bonus if the show blows the doors off. I mean, and I tell all the bands, my books are open. You want to know why did I only get $100? All right, well, here's the overhead. Here's what this. Here's that. Here's how many people paid, and here's what's left over. You get it. See you later.
Yeah, I mean,
Even that, like a smaller local level, I've can't even remember any of the fucking bands I played with. Played with Gigan when you had them here. I think Fit for an Autopsy. We opened for them, and you were always super transparent. Like, look, just here's tickets. You guys are gonna play regardless, but try to push these fucking things. And
Yeah,
it's just
bring back what you don't sell.
yeah.
Then you got these other idiots like Chaos Joe there.
I didn't want to.
I don't care. Fuck him. What's he gonna do? Sue me? Beat me
I
up?
was gonna bring
Fuck
him
off,
up.
you bald prick. It's just this guy's just making a living off of robbing people,
Yeah.
and it's just I don't know one band that has anything positive to say, and I just don't understand how he still books shows. I don't get it.
Yeah,
It bothers me.
So I mean, that's how I started. So I started with him because I didn't fucking know anything. I started going to shows in 2009, which I didn't even know anybody that I know that now. I didn't know from them. I just was in high school and started going to shows. And then when I started playing, his name was just the only one that I really saw.
Right.
And then he books fucking 15 bands. You don't see any of it. You're playing with guys who fucking, it'll be like an acoustic act right before you're like, and then a fucking folk band after. I'm like, what is this birthday fucking mashup going on? So like, but it did kind of open my eyes because then we started playing. You put us on a couple, and it was just night and day difference on just treatment and everything else.
I'm just fair. I mean, there's some shows where the bands don't get any money or it's very minimal, and I'm like, well, there were 6 people here. I don't know what to tell
That's
you.
exactly it.
However, with Empire, it hasn't been that case. And the thing with Empire too is I don't worry about wins and losses anymore. It's like I get paid from the club, so you don't have to worry about what I'm taking for my pocket because I'm not.
Exactly.
The club worries about getting the bar, a successful bar, and to cover the overhead is pretty much what the downstairs is built for. And you know what? The downstairs shows have definitely helped, ensure that the upstairs shows happen too.
I do gotta check. I do gotta check it out. I'd like to just pop in once and just see the upstairs, downstairs. I've only heard good things, mostly from
Yeah, we just did this Born Dead Fest, and
Yeah,
this is the
that's-
first thing where we actually had the 2-tier,
Yeah.
floor thing. Is a little. We don't have an easy access to go up and downstairs. You got to walk around the block to go to one venue to the other, but next year when they do it, we have some remedies for. We learned a lot in this one, and it's gonna be fun next year.
I mean, I've only heard good things about it. The only thing that somebody did bring up was walking around the block, but that wasn't really a complaint. It was just something that they noticed. That's all. I mean, shit happens. I mean, there was a shit ton of bands. There was a 2-day thing. It was nice to see, the caliber of bands that played. It ranged from your national headliners, and then we did have, Invoke Thy Wrath. You had Wrong Move.
Yeah, the new band Confinement from Western Mass, another band that I kept saying, keep hitting me up every 2-3 weeks. So it's the boom. Yeah, hey, you wanna play Born Dead Fest? And I didn't and I want bands to know that I'm not booking you on purpose. It's just I look, like I said, I look at my flyers. I'm like, okay, well, this band hasn't played in like 6 months here, so they're overdue. We got to get them on the show. There's some bands that definitely play a little bit more frequent than others, but the ones that aren't playing that frequently, hit me up.
Yeah.
That's all that is.
Another show. All right.
Just circle back to just being persistent.
I mean,
and you know what? I got so much stuff on my plate. Not that I'm forgetting about you, but I'm forgetting about you.
Exactly. And I mean, I know a lot of people probably don't
want to feel like they're being annoying, but it's like, if I'm telling you to do it, be annoying.
Be annoying because
annoy me.
you know what? Closed mouth don't get fed.
That's exactly it. So
You already kind of answered this one. It was how many people are involved in these awards. So, I mean, this ranges from.
Well, we got a core of 5 people. It's myself, Ralph Renner from Capital Underground. We got Brendan Manley from 518 Scene. We got Fuzz, who does that Fuzzing Rock show, and myself. So that's like the core committee, and then we haven't finalized the next 6 judges, and of course you got to have an odd number in case there's a tie. But I know Brendan is bringing on this woman Maria that is head of a big PR firm from New York City. So she has no ties with any of the bands locally. I asked Jim Wortman, who's a photographer, and he's at every single show.
Yep.
Everything, whether it's good, bad, indifferent, doesn't matter. Yep. So, and he's not in a band, and there's other people that we're going to get involved too. So, like I said, once we start judging the nominations, I don't know, I'll make it public. I'll tell everybody who the judges are. And, like I said, it's all transparent. There's nothing. And, at the end of the award show, once everybody gets their trophies, everybody's happy and everything, I'll make a statement and put out the numbers and why they won their stuff. I don't care.
Yeah, right. I mean, if that's transparency is what it is.
But I told everybody in the committee, I said, listen, there's going to be homework to be done. So if you have the best album category and you get 15 nominations, you got to listen to 15 fucking albums.
Yeah.
Start to finish. I want notes on why this album is better than this one. What do you not like about this? Is it production? Is it the writing? Is it the lyrics? Is it the it's gonna be involved. It's gonna be involved. But none of these other people are doing that. They're not. You can't tell me that the Eddies is actually listening to all these albums.
No, there's no way.
Metal album. Then people don't know what metal is if you come over to the head with a pipe. They wouldn't know.
No, I mean, and just having said
that and telling these guys like you're gonna have to listen. All it does is increase the legitimacy. You can't.
Like me judging a country award show.
Yeah.
I don't like country. I'm not gonna listen to your fucking albums.
No.
Count me out. I'm done. I'm not just gonna pick a name out of a random thing. I wouldn't disrespect that genre.
No, you can't.
No, I'll stick to what I know.
Yeah.
I don't even want to judge. I don't have any interest in it. I don't want to listen to the album. I don't want any part of it.
Exactly. Listen to the fucking thing.
We'll make sure, in the description of wherever you're watching this, we'll put the link to get to voting. You'll be able to see all the sponsors involved in this. You can shout out anybody you want to shout out as well. We're approaching an hour, so we'll probably wrap up here soon. Any plugs you have, any shout outs you want to give, anything we might have missed, go ahead. It's all yours.
I mean, yeah, it's just the Extreme Music Awards. There's a bazillion sponsors and supporters on this, and can you put the flyer up?
Yeah, I'll put it honestly right here while you're talking. We'll just
Yeah, this way there's so many people that are entrusting us with a decent amount of money for something that hasn't happened ever before. So, but like I said, we're gonna utilize it properly, and a lot of the expense is, to hire celebrity presenters. Make it interesting. I want people to go and see a show, even though it's not a show. It's something fun, different, something going to be memorable. I mean, we hired this band called Uncle Sam, SAMM, Slayer, Anthrax, Megadeth, Metallica. So they do big four covers. So they're going to open the show up, play. Then the format will be, we do the awards, et cetera, and they're going to close the show out. We're just going to have a party. Yeah. It's just going to be cover tunes. That's it. I mean, there's just this is so new. I'm really excited for it. So, but other than that, plugs, I mean, Empire Underground's, welcomes everybody with open arms. We're doing all sorts of different genres over there. Come say hi. I got, Brick by Brick's doing well. We're doing right now. We're done with our tour cycle for the year. We're just doing a couple. I think we got maybe 4 shows before the end of the year, and then hopefully releasing a new record the beginning of next year. Then we're supposed to go to Australia for 10 days and New Zealand for 2. So I'm excited for that. And then Europe again, and then start it all over again. But we're going to be doing a 5-song EP. We're recording, like I said, Joey Z from Life Agony is going to produce it. We're going to be doing a split 7-inch. I don't want to give the details out with that with another band. It's going to be fun. We're going to do a cover tune, or we're going to put that out there. Shout outs, Smooth Truth Whiskey. Yes, that's my
How the fuck brand. Did I go this far? I've talked about it on here and didn't fucking talk about it.
Kind of this. So doing my own whiskey, it's a double-edged sword. I want to promote it, but the problem is I'm starting to run into serious, not financial issues, but there's too many hands in the cookie jar. And the only way to really make a profit on it is to either be the distiller or to be the bar selling it. And I am neither. And I'm only making a wholesale profit on it. So the wholesale profit margin much after I got to pay for taxes, shipping. Well, I'm making like $2 a bottle. So that being said, it's not dead. It's available at Empire. It's available at a few select bars. Fusebox will be carrying it. But if you want a bottle, I know a guy that's got a bunch that happened to end up on my doorstep. And somehow all these cases of booze just came to my house, and I have gifts for everybody. Just inbox me and let me know what you want. I can't really get into more detail on that. Also, we have our own brand of gummy. And when I say gummy, I do not mean gummy bears. I mean gummies, and it will put you on your fucking ass.
Yeah, I know guys who smoke every day and take edibles, and the reviews they're definitely good. I got a good night's sleep.
Oh, good night's sleep is the least one. One of my buddies is like, "Hey, I gave my girl a whole gummy." I'm like, "A whole one?" I'm like, bro, they're 100 milligrams, right?"
Jeez.
And so I'm like, "Can I take a before picture?" He goes, No, that's my wife. And then he got home and he took a picture of her and plastered on the floor with one shoe on, one shoe off, face first, like in a Superman position on the floor. And I'm like, "Please, can I post that?" He goes, "Absolutely not."
Oh my God.
It'll be the best advertisement for these gummies. But I have those, and yeah.
As somebody who's not an investor or involved in the whiskey at all, just a personal opinion, it's very good. I'm not even a big drinker, but it's smooth. It's a good sipper. My wife likes it. So, and again, not a big drinking household, so it's good stuff. I definitely.
Yeah, and like I said, a lot of people have been hit me up for that, and it's not dead in the water, but it might be kind of put to the back burner a little bit until we figure out a remedy for it. I mean, I've actually been looking for property to make my own distillery and do all this stuff, and it's another lifestyle, and I don't know if I'm prepared at this point in my life to have a new career.
Tackle that, yeah. I mean,
but like I said, we still have avenues. We still have a lot of product left over that, it's there. So if you need it, you want it, let me know.
all right, inbox Mike for that. I'm not going to speak on the gummies because I'm a pussy and there's no way I'm ingesting.
Me too. I have not tried them. Everybody's like, how are they? Go, don't know, and I will not try them.
I'll tell you what people tell me.
I will let you do it.
Check out Brick by Brick. All the links in the description here. If you can get to these awards, definitely go. I'll be there. I did the small little sponsor package myself, so I'm looking forward to seeing how it all comes together. So I'll definitely be there 100%. And thanks for coming on. I appreciate
ExtremeMusicAwards.com. Vote.
Wait, I'm pointing at it. It'll be right here by the fucking. It'll be right there. Right here. Bye everybody.
All right. Thank you.